a woman has pleaded guilty to her role in the kidnapping of a man in New Mexico, who was subsequently locked in a trunk and fatally stabbed during an escape attempt, federal prosecutors reported. Kendra Panteah, 37, entered her plea last Friday to a federal charge of kidnapping not resulting in death in Albuquerque. Although Panteah did not directly kill or stab the victim, identified only as John Doe, she was present during the July 2019 incident, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of New Mexico. Gilbert John Jr., another participant, was responsible for the stabbing and was sentenced to 21 years in prison in June after pleading guilty to second-degree murder. Both Panteah and John used methamphetamine before the crime, with Panteah's attorney indicating she has struggled with substance abuse issues. Following the stabbing, John drove the victim's car, containing the body, to a remote area and set it ablaze in an effort to conceal the crime, the U.S. Attorney's Office said. In her plea agreement, Panteah recounted that she was driving the victim's car from Zuni, New Mexico, to Witch Wells, Arizona, to buy beer. The victim, who was not driving, was grabbing at the steering wheel, leading the others in the car to beat him, and subsequently place him in the trunk. Afterward, Panteah continued driving to Gallup with the victim still confined in the trunk, eventually seeking John's assistance. They drove the car, with the victim in the trunk, into the Navajo Nation while consuming alcohol and using methamphetamine. At Bass Lake, the victim attempted to escape from the trunk, prompting John to stab him multiple times with a machete. Panteah stated that John urged her to participate in the stabbing, but she declined. In his plea agreement, John acknowledged the stabbing and added that an unidentified individual with him threw a rock at the victim's head after he had been stabbed and was still moving. Panteah is facing a minimum of 10 years in prison, with a potential maximum of 18 years. Her sentencing is scheduled for January 27th. Both Panteah, who is Zuni, and John, who is Navajo, noted their tribal affiliations in their plea agreements. Panteah's attorney, Erlinda Johnson, described her client as a kind woman, emphasizing that the events were heavily influenced by substance abuse. This tragic case highlights the substance and alcohol abuse issues that many Native American communities face, Johnson stated, adding her belief that the tragedy could have been avoided if everyone involved had been sober.